Have you ever wondered if you could actually beat the casino at its own game? Well, this is the incredible story of a man who looked at a game of so-called chance and saw something different. He saw a puzzle he was determined to solve with nothing more than his own mind. This is how a math professor walked into a casino and turned the tables on the house itself.
It all kicks off with this one pretty radical idea. For decades, everyone just assumed blackjack was like roulette, a game where luck was king and the house always won. But one man knew better. He saw a crack in the armor, a secret weakness hiding in plain sight.
So just picture it. We're in a casino, early 1960s. The air is just thick with smoke and tension. And there's this guy at a high-stakes blackjack table, playing 3 hands at once. And get this, each and every hand is a 20. He is practically guaranteed to win. Now, if you know anything about blackjack, you know the #1 rule. You never, ever split tens. Why would you? A hand of 20 is a monster. It's almost a guaranteed win. To break that up, well, it's seen as the move of a complete amateur. You'd be throwing away a winning hand.
But then he does the unthinkable. He calmly pushes out another bet and signals to the dealer to split one of his winning hands. A gasp just ripples through the people watching him. He's just broken the cardinal rule of the game.
So what's going on here? Is this guy a reckless fool who's about to lose a ton of money? Or is he a genius who sees something that nobody else in that room can?
Well, the answer to that question all comes down to who this guy actually was, because he was not your average gambler. This wasn't some flashy high roller. The man making this totally crazy play was Edward O. Thorpe, a brilliant mathematics professor from MIT. Yeah, that MIT. He wasn't there to gamble. He was there to run an experiment.
This number right here gives you a little peek into Thorpe's mind. 31,536,000. That is the number of seconds in a year. When he was just 7 years old, Thorpe was calculating this in his head for fun. That's the kind of brain power he was bringing to the blackjack table.
So what was his secret? What did he figure out? Well, Thorpe had uncovered a fundamental truth about the game that casinos themselves had totally overlooked for years, a truth he called the memory of the deck.
Think about it like this. A game like roulette, every single spin is a fresh start. The ball doesn't remember where it landed before. But blackjack is different. When a card is dealt, it's gone. It's out of the deck. And that means the makeup of the deck is constantly changing. And if the deck changes, so do the odds. The deck remembers what's been played.
And this insight is the core of his system, what we now call card counting. And in theory, it's actually pretty simple. First, you track the cards, keeping a running mental tally of high versus low cards. Second, you identify when the advantage shifts to you. When lots of low cards are gone, the deck becomes rich in aces and tens. And that's great for the player. And third, you bet big. When the deck is hot, you press your advantage. When it's cold, you bet as little as possible.
So Thorpe had all the math worked out on paper, and it looked perfect. But theory's one thing. He needed to prove it could work in the loud, distracting, high-pressure world of a real casino.
And he wasn't alone. His friend, Glenn Marco, was a complete skeptic. Just like most people, he couldn't believe that a casino game could be beaten with a system. He pretty much thought, there's no way this is going to work.
So Thorpe takes his skeptical friend to a casino in Reno, but he doesn't even sit down to play. He just stands behind a table, watching. He wasn't gambling, he was calculating. He was waiting for the count to tell him that the deck was finally tipping in the player's favor.
And then it happened. Low card after low card kept coming out. Thorpe knew the deck was becoming packed with high cards. The scales were tipping. This was the moment.
Right as the deck hit its peak, Thorpe turns to his doubtful friend and gives him a simple command. He tells Glenn to reach over and place a single $10 bet on an empty spot. Just one bet.
The dealer deals the cards, an ace, and then a jack, blackjack. Glenn Marco, on his very first and only bet of the trip, won instantly. Can you imagine? That's the ultimate proof. The skeptic was converted in a single hand.
That moment wasn't just about convincing a friend. It was the start of a revolution that would change the world of gambling forever.
You see, Thorpe wasn't interested in becoming a professional gambler. He was a scientist. His goal wasn't just to win money, it was to prove the theory. So he did something extraordinary. He published his entire system in a book called Beat the Dealer. And the impact was explosive. The book became a New York Times bestseller. It was famously the most requested book in the Las Vegas Public Library. Of course, the casinos were terrified. They scrambled to change the rules, adding more decks, shuffling more often. But Thorpe's ideas, like waiting for a hot deck, or even the concept of blackjack teams, they were out there. He had given the average person a mathematical weapon against the house.
And while he changed casinos forever, Thorpe's true legacy was in mathematics. For his groundbreaking work in probability theory, his academic peers gave him the ultimate praise, calling him an immortal in the field. In the end, Edward Thorpe proved that a system that seemed totally random had a hidden logic. He used math to find an edge that nobody else saw. And it really makes you wonder, what other games are we all playing today? In finance, in our careers and technology, where the rules aren't quite what they seem? Just waiting for someone to find that unseen advantage.